Hello Year 8 and welcome to Lesson 12 where you're going to be continuing your race across Europe. We're going to be focusing on collecting our evidence of each country that you've visited along your journey during this lesson. Firstly, well done to Jessica, Charlotte and Lillian who sent in photos of their work that they did on Friday. You can see Jessica's handwritten table in the top left with her journey broken down with the cost as well, so well done for doing the stretch. On the right you can see Lillian's map where she's labelled all the countries and made a really clear route through Europe, hitting quite a few countries along the way. And also Charlotte has done a table on the computer showing her journey, including the price and the time. So well done as well for doing the stretch tasks. You didn't have to send your work in, however it was lovely to see some of you, and hopefully the rest of you have managed to do something similar and to kick off your journey with a good planned route which goes through 5 different European countries. So today you are going to be collecting your evidence that you visited 5 countries along your journey. And I've put together a list here of the types of evidence that you could collect. Now obviously it isn't real evidence, this is just virtual evidence that you have been there. However, there are lots and lots of possibilities for what you could do. You could simply research around 3 facts and figures about the country. For example, how big is the population, what's the national dish, what is the national flag like, what's the climate like. That would be fairly straightforward to do using the internet, and you could write your answers down for each of the 5 places. Some annotated photographs. You could go online or possibly look at photos you've got of visiting places around Europe and label them up with some information. I'm going to show you an example in a moment of one that I've done. Or you could pretend to make a postcard. So you could choose a country that you are visiting, design the front either by hand or possibly a picture from online, and then write the back of the postcard as if you were sending it back to your teacher at school. Another option would be to make some pretend ticket stubs or photos, facts or brochures from tourist attractions that you visit. For example, you could pretend to visit somewhere like the Eiffel Tower and then create the evidence that you had been there. Finally, one I've just thought of while speaking now is you could go onto Google Earth and you could maybe create some snapshots of what it was like zooming in on Street View and show where you went. There's lots and lots of possibilities. You don't have to use the list that's in front of you in the blue box. You can think quite creatively, but you should aim to have a piece of evidence from each of your 5 countries and really try and mix it up so that you don't just have 5 postcards from 5 countries. Maybe do a postcard from one, photos from another, facts and figures from the third, and so on. Now there is a stretch as well. In each location you could work out the cost of visiting any tourist attractions, how much you'd spend on accommodation, and even how much you spend on your food and drink. You could add it to your running total. Remember, you've got £1,000 to spend on everything. And having looked at some of the work that was sent in on Friday, lots of you have been very economical with your travel and you've got lots of money left. So you've got potential to visit some really good attractions with your budget. Now, some examples of the type of evidence. So the first one is annotated photos, which is quite straightforward. This is Freiburg in Germany, and I've chosen Freiburg because we do a case study at GCSE about it. Now, Freiburg is famous for being very eco-friendly, and there's lots of things that the city does and has planned when it was being designed to make sure it was eco-friendly. And one thing was that they included all of the community in the designs and thought process. The second thing, you'll see in the photo, as many of the buildings as possible have got solar roofs. They have huge bike zones and pedestrianised areas all across this city. They do make big use of green space, and they are on the edge of the Black Forest. However, they haven't they've cut down minimal forest in order to make this city. They reuse their rainwater. And I've put a little caption at the bottom just to give an overview about this place that I visited on my journey. So, Freiburg is widely considered a single best city for sustainable urban development. Starting early in the 1970s, Freiburg has tackled energy and climate change, transport and land use, urban livability and safety, and democratic issues, all using a highly integrated approach. So that there in front of you is an example of how you could take a photo, annotate it for one of the countries that you visit. Second example is you could pretend to write a postcard. Now there's lots of templates online, but you could easily do this by hand as well. You could show the front of the postcard with a photo or a sketch, but I'm just showing you the back, and I've chosen Rome for this one. So I've just started off, hello, today I visited Rome and it was so hot. In June the climate is usually, you can look it up if you are choosing to do Rome, but today it was ... I travelled around by ... at the Colosseum I ... So I'm not giving you answers here because some of you may have chosen Rome as one of your pit stops on your journey, but that's the idea. You can also add in the address if you'd like to. In the postcard, really try to describe what the place is like, things you could do, what the climate's like, what the what makes that city unique. Or it might not be a city, could be a coastal place or a rural place. Really is up to you. Finally, I'm just going to show you how you could use tickets, flags and facts and figures in combination to give evidence of where you visited. So I looked online for a ticket of Vatican City in Italy. I couldn't find a picture showing the back of a ticket, so then I looked up on their website how much it would cost for you to visit different places, and also the flag. And to go alongside these pieces of evidence, I looked up 3 facts about the Vatican City. The fact that it's an independent city, it's where the Pope lives and rules, and that he's the head of the Roman Catholic Church. I really like the second fact, the fact that it is the smallest state in Europe, and it only has about 1,000 people living in it. And then the third fact was just about places to visit when you're there. So there's just 3 examples of the type of evidence that you could put together today for your lesson. So I suggest that you leave this slide up at the end of the video, just so that you've got the checklist of evidence that you could use for your 5 countries, facts and figures, annotated photographs, postcards, ticket stubs, brochures, facts, possibly using Google Maps or Street View. That might be quite interesting. And really do try and mix up your evidence so that it's as interesting and creative as possible. Now, you don't need to send your work in today. However, bear in mind that in the final lesson on this mini project, you will be asked to send everything in. So your map, your list of countries and the transport you use to travel between them, this evidence that you're doing today, and also the work you'll do in your next lesson. You'll be asked to put it all together and send it in to your teacher in 2 lessons' time. So bear that in mind. It'd be lovely to see when it's sent in all the different types of evidence that you've put together today, and the more creative the better. So good luck, and we hope you get on nicely with your work today.